What's good, y'all? This is Mer Says Hi. What's good with y'all? I'm saying hi. And we're about to watch Arrow. Arrow season 7, episode 16. And this one is titled, what is the name of this episode? It has no episode name. Star City 2040. So that means this episode is probably going to be talking a lot about, or it's probably going to be mainly featured into, you know, the past sequences, or not past, the flash forward sequences. And, you know, I've been a fan of some of the flashbacks in the past, but the flash forwards this season, I've been kind of hit or miss. Like, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes the whole episode is a little falling flat, but I do like some of the new characters. I like seeing the evolution of, you know, the older versions of characters we've grown and loved. So, you know, it's kind of cool to see that. But yeah, let's watch. Let's watch. Yeah. All right. Where are they in the? Cabin in the woods? Oh. Ha! She was trained by Nyssa? That's some grade A studio rain.
I need to forge my own path.
What's the Black Star for?
My mom once told me that all the starlight we see has so far to travel.
What's up? Once we get in the blaze, we'll do it fast. Find Felicity and get her out before anyone knows we were here.
Here, I thought you hated her.
No one gets to kill my mom except me.
It'd be easier if we had some backup.
She wants to kill her just for locking her in her
I just
room?
think it was a mistake to not bring the rest of the team.
They're not a team, they're vigilantes.
How is it you got all the age and none of the wisdom? They're playing you, Renee. Galaxy is just a front for Eden Corps.
Eden Corps doesn't exist anymore. Even if it did, if Galaxy was run
Eden
by a
Corps?
organization,
The thing
I don't know.
from Flash?
You knew Galaxy was paying cops to take Felicity.
One of the better episodes of Flash last season, season 4, Enter Flash Time, the main villain who they spent literally 0 seconds on was apparently trying to blow up Star City and send all of Star City back to Eden Corps. And they just kind of blew past it because the entire episode was Flash Time. So Flash was just going really fast and everyone was going like super like, yeah, like slower than that. And he even brought like people inside with him Flash Time. That was a pretty cool episode. Season 4 episode, I think, what, 15, 16? Not really sure. But anyway, they're saying Eden Corps is happening here in 2040. Star City 2040.
Felicity's death.
Arrow.
Yeah. Is she still alive, Renee?
I guess Dinah and Felicity were friends.
You could have told us we were on the same side.
To infiltrate Eden Corps, I had to be the calculator. It was the only way.
Looks like your plan worked out a little too well.
Well, I'm glad my own team came to the rescue. Thank you for helping William. Where's Mia? Mia is so much like her father. Sorry for not telling you about her, by the way.
Guys,
The coast is clear between us and the bombs.
Hurry up, we have to move.
Don't you want to go
So
with
Felicity's either gonna end the season with her being pregnant and not let everyone know, and she's gonna be gone all of season 10.
them? You know,
Or season 9?
I'm really not sure what's worse. Do you have any idea what it's like to find out that your entire relationship with someone is based on a lie?
no.
So they did have a relationship. I thought they was just friends, you know? I
Parents.
thought they was just homies.
It
Now
sucks.
they was
I
homies.
used to ask my dad all the time why he even adopted me. If he and my mom were never gonna be around, But you know what? When I got older, I realized I was proud of them.
You were proud that they prioritized the rest of the world above you.
Okay, no, not that part, but with great power comes great responsibility, right?
That's a copyright.
Oh, come on, Spider-Man.
Not
Oh.
really into comic books.
Okay, my point is, the same applies to us superhero kids. You know, we have to learn to share our parents and be a little selfless.
This is looking for a needle in a very crazy haystack.
I think that's when you're in position. Everyone
So EDM makes it to 2040, and everyone still wears
Like a celebrity.
masks. Like there's a masquerade party.
Someone come over watching a very long time. Can we save the walk down memory lane for after? Hand the CEO. I got this.
He's gonna be more than a CEO. He's gonna be some major
Nothing else to
villain.
tell you, but your festival sucks.
Interesting. I was expecting a canary. Who the hell are you?
Not a fan of chit chat.
Even though you say a one-liner
That thing over.
every time you're about to hit
I'll
someone.
take it.
Really?
That hit your hand, bro. You shouldn't be knocked out. Alright, you're not Cloak. Cloak from Cloak and Dagger. They're never gonna show her take the arrow out because that looks like it's really impractical.
We did already have a target on our backs. Just wasn't quite that big.
It's a bigger target, yeah.
Rougher for everyone.
Including my dad. I know you're worried, but he is right. The best way to take down Galaxy is from the inside.
So what now?
The attack by the vigilantes has provided us an opportunity. Because a city in fear desires a solution.
What is that?
The tool that will allow us to take Archer global and eliminate all vigilantes for good.
Is that like Cerebro?
Little mother-daughter vigilante time.
Now I wish I could take you away from all this.
I don't
I
understand
wish
her
I
hating
could
for
take you away from
vigilantes.
this.
She's basically doing that, if not worse.
Turn my dad.
Yeah, you are so much like your father. Out on the field. So badass. I'm so proud of you. That one is on me. Holy crap.
Back in real time.
That worked. Here goes nothing. Archer, are you online?
Yes, Gustav. Archer is active.
They featured the Arrow title with loving memory, Jack Wright. Rest in peace. But they keep featuring the Arrow, you know, the actual Arrowhead title for the Arrow sequence. They keep featuring that, but it's as Emiko's Arrow, but you know, she's not in this episode. She's barely in this whole season. She's got a couple good moments, like in the beginning, but she was hooded. And then when she finally got unmasked, like she's had a good couple scenes. Which, by the way, they unmasked her too soon. Like the documentary episode, I actually pretty liked. I really liked it, but I didn't like some of the things that they did with it. I liked that they had a villain that they've been teasing for a while come in, but they got rid of him in that episode. They introduced him in that episode. If they had kind of built up to him throughout the whole season, and then in the documentary episode, you know, kind of let him finally be seen, and then sure, take him down that episode if you want, because we've heard the rumors already. But honestly, just like this season, this episode itself, I feel personally, is all over the place. It did have a you know, pretty decent storyline that it went through, but you know, all the different twists and turns with, you know, Diggle's adopted son being Bronze Tiger's real son, and now he's working as a secret agent in the future for this company. William and Mia's relationship is kind of adorable. I kind of like that. Mia's kind of growing on me, but she's still a little rough around the edges for me. Felicity, you know, I love Felicity. I love her. And it's really hard for me to, you know, throw hate on her, but I feel like the last few seasons, they just didn't know what to do with her, so they just make her the argumentative type with Oliver and just always bash everything that he's going to say and say, you know, stuff about trust and all that. And yet in this episode, she basically was Oliver and her daughter was her, always saying like, you know, we gotta trust each other, we're a family, or we gotta trust each other, we love each other, we do this, that. What else? The Canaries were cool. Renee's cool. I like his storyline, but I feel like, you know, either he has to suit up as Wild Dog in 2040 eventually, or, you know, I don't know. I feel like he's gonna die in 2040. Like, that's gonna be it, because the way that him and the guy were talking, it seemed like the guy already kind of got an upper hand on him. So he's probably gonna right in the back of, you know, Renee. Old Man Roy so far has been my like least complained about one, because even though he hasn't done anything, I feel like they're staying true to, you know, Roy. He always kind of stood in the background with Oliver. He did have a few standout moments, a lot of standout moments. But, you know, ever since he left the show, which I know was on his own accord because he wanted to and all that, you know, take time for himself, the actor. But ever since Roy left the show, it always felt as if whenever he would come back or whenever he was mentioned, it always just felt like it was a disservice to the memory of him leaving. But at the same time, I personally wanted him back in the show doing more badass stunts and kicking ass. And especially when he came back and left again with Thea, I thought that was the perfect segue for them to kind of go off and do their own little separate journey adventure. That'd be dope, whether Nyssa is in it or not, kind of being like a little mentor, but then kind of feeling like the third wheel and then dipping out eventually, and it would be like Speedy and Arsenal together, even though in the comics they're one person, or I mean they could be two people, but that's if you count the clone thing. Anyway, overall, episode was decent. I liked Arrow. I still like Arrow, and with Steph and Amel's leaving, you know, I guess this episode kind of gave us a little taste of, you know, what the Arrowverse would look like without Steph and Amel in it. I know that in the case of Arrow, Steph and Amel leaving is also, like, him leaving is also ending the show. Whereas recently a lot of shows have been doing the main title character leaving and the rest of the characters continue on. And personally, I'm so glad they're not doing that with Arrow, because that would just be so stupid that it would just not make sense, because he's literally the title character. Let me give you a few examples. Walking Dead, Rick left and it's fine because his name isn't the title character. Sure, he's the character that we followed mainly from the get-go all the way to the end, but somewhere along the line they like to say that, you know, the story became not just about Rick, it became about the group and, you know, finding the future. And Rick kind of completed his storyline with finding his family, and then he found his family with, you know, the group his adopted group that he made along the way, now that his actual family has been basically dead. Lori dead, you know, C-section. Carl dead, shot or bit in the gut. Yeah. What's her name? The Vampire Diaries. Also, Elena Gilbert. What's her name? Nina Dobrev. Oh, beautiful. But she she left the show, but she wasn't also the title character. She was the character we followed from the get-go in the beginning, but along the way we fell in love with the ensemble cast, and you know, Damon especially, you know, kind of bursted out the flames of, you know, being the title character. Basically, he is a vampire for one, and he, you know, kind of stole the show from the get-go. Like, he stole the girl from Stefan. He stole the what's it called, the show from Stefan. Stefan was probably supposed to be the leading male, and he became probably the top grossed in that cast, especially after Nina Dobrev left. Or I would hate it. I would really be low-key pissed if that was the case. But if Damon low-key got paid more than Nina, that would be so stupid. I'd be upset. But I like how I'm saying Damon, his character's name, but not Ian Somerhalder. Anyway, what else? Shameless US. That's my favorite, one of my favorite shows right now. And they just lost 2 of their characters. One of them's coming back, at least, because he was working on a different show on the side. I don't want to keep spoiling shows for you in case, you know, you haven't caught up, people haven't caught up. But you know, one of the main characters basically signed off on their leave, and you know, they're a family, so regardless if one leaves, the show is going to feel a little down. But this character leaving was literally, I'm gonna straight up say it was the main character. Like, it was you know, spoilers, Fiona. She left the show, and she's been the mother type figure for all of them. She's been the leading force for this family, and honestly, I felt like they also handled that pretty tastelessly. Yeah. I felt like they handled that pretty bad. Because, like, even though her ending episode was decent, it was good, and it was kind of in a very Fiona-esque way. Like, she was thinking about, you know, and I know this is gonna get me a lot of backlash, but she was thinking about herself. And it was good because for the most part in her life and throughout the show's history, she's been thinking about her entire family. And so, you know, she went to one of her siblings for advice, and she got advice, and they basically said, get the fuck out of here. You finally have the money you need. Get the fuck out of here. Leave. This is not for you. This has been dragging you down. Find your peace somewhere else. And so that was her character's way of leaving, which I'm fine with. But the character's arc leading up to that just felt really, like, the way she got up to that point, sure, it felt natural, but the stuff leading up to, if that last scene hadn't happened, everything leading up to that just would have felt really, it felt like they overdid it. The season where she got the apartment to take care of, I felt like they could have gone a different route with that, but they decided to go jump the shark with that boring ass boyfriend. And then the next season with the whole losing the apartment and going back to alcoholism and all that stuff, and it was just, anyway, I'm over here supposed to be talking about Arrow. Anyway, so Arrow, I'm hoping that they finish off this season strong. I'm hoping they finish off the next 10 episode season with even more strength. I'm hoping it goes back to season 1 roots. I know the last time that they promised season 1 roots was back in, I think, season 5 or 6. I think it was 5, because that was the season with Adrian Chase. Yeah, because it was 5 years of hell, and then yeah. After 5 years in hell. Anyway, so yeah, I just hope they finish off strong, because I'm a big fan of the Arrowverse, and regardless, it's been a great ride, you know. Love you, Stefan. Love you, cast. I would name all of you, but you know, there's a lot, and I don't have time for that. But I love you all, really, I do. Anyway, yeah. Signing out. Peace out. You dig?